All right.
You see this, you will never look at holidays the same. Every holiday is actually based on ancient rituals, and you've been participating in them without even realizing it.
And it didn't surprise me either, but it doesn't really scare me out of celebrating, because what I do is I just detach it from what I feel and my intentions are. How did you put the question, Kyla?
So, is it truth and integrity to what they said in the video, in that these holidays are used as a ritual for us to engage in these, rituals for them to harvest energy?
So they most definitely
Yeah.
Wow.
use maybe all of these to
Yeah.
harvest energy.
This is what we do, and everybody just blindly follows. So it's a form of mind control.
How can we get around getting our energy from our happiness from that holiday? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our channel called The Three of Pentacles. We are 3 tarot card readers, and we like to read on world events and things that are happening in our neighborhood and online and everything. We like to read a lot. We also do personal readings as well, and we're also energy healers. Lynn and Kaila specialize in energy healing, and I specialize in vocal energy healing. So if you need that, just let us know. We like to read things on that's for entertainment purposes, but not only and not always. And in this video, we're going to be reading on a video that talks about certain holidays that we celebrate. You celebrate Christmas. Some people celebrate the 4th of July here in the United States. Some people celebrate their birthday, and there's usually some type of ritual connected to it, as they say. So we'll read on it and we'll see what we get. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce you to my woo sisters, Kaila and Lynn.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
And my name is Barbara. So let's get to see if I think Lynn, you're gonna have play the video for us so they can get a better meaning of it, better explanation of it.
Yep, we got it on a little bit higher speed, and
Okay.
For anybody looking for it, I guess it's Mr. Red Pill's Jaka Kwarmi.
Yeah, they can stop the video and get it.
They can stop the video and should be able to get it, because we're not sure if we can post these links on the YouTube channel. We might be able to on our Rebel channel. All right.
You see this, you will never look at holidays the same. Every holiday is actually based on ancient rituals, and you've been participating in them without even realizing it. Let's start with Christmas. December 25th wasn't chosen by accident. Before Jesus, the Romans celebrated Saturnalia, wild feasts, gift-giving, and honoring Saturn, the god of time. And the Norse, they had Yule, a solstice festival worshiping the rebirth of the sun. Easter is not just about Jesus. The egg and rabbit come from Eostre, the ancient goddess of fertility. These symbols have nothing to do with resurrection, but everything to do with reproduction. Halloween, it wasn't about candy. The Celts called it Samhain. Like when the veil between worlds was thinnest. People wore masks, not for fun, but to hide from spirits. Think Valentine's Day is about love? Think again. The Romans celebrated Lupercalia, a festival of fertility rituals, animal sacrifices, and a lottery where men would randomly pair with women for the festival. Cupid? He wasn't a cute cherub. He was based on Eros, the primal god of passion and chaos. So, are we celebrating romance or something much darker? Okay, what about your birthday? That one's innocent, right? Think again. You light candles. Make a wish and blow them out. But why? The ancient Greeks did this as a form of fire magic, offering candles to Artemis, the moon goddess, so their wishes would be carried to the gods. Even the Egyptians and Romans only celebrated the birthdays of gods, kings, and elites because they believed it marked a spiritual rebirth. So, when you celebrate your birthday, are you just marking another year or taking part in an ancient ritual? July 4th, America's birthdays, or a solar ritual? It's right after the summer solstice, one of the most sacred days for ancient civilizations. Was it chosen for independence or cosmic alignment? And Thanksgiving, it wasn't just about pilgrims and Native Americans. Every ancient civilization had a harvest festival to give thanks, not to settlers, but to the gods. Is this really about history or an energy ritual we never stopped practicing? When you celebrate holidays, what are you really participating in? Hidden energy harvesting rituals disguised as traditions. What if I told you the calendar itself is a system designed to direct human energy? What do you think? Coincidence or something much deeper? Drop a comment below, and if you want me to reveal even...
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And that was on high speed. So I hope they could understand. I was pretty easy to understand about these holidays.
Did you guys
So
get
that is, how did that make you feel, Lynn, when you saw that video talking about all these holidays?
With everything I've been diving down over the last few years, that doesn't surprise me.
What
I
about
mean,
you, Kyla?
I don't even personally celebrate most of the holidays anymore since the stuff I've been learning about.
Right. Yeah,
What
I
about you,
agree.
Kaila?
I mean, I would not be surprised if that was partly the reason. As we were saying before, we did this video, each holiday would be different. So that would be like a deep dive into each one to pull cards. But today I think we're just looking generally.
Yep.
on what percentage that could be. And it didn't surprise me either, but it doesn't really scare me out of celebrating, because what I do is I just detach it from what I feel and my intentions are. But I don't celebrate all of that stuff anyway, but I do like the holidays, and I just like the way it makes me feel and my intention. So if there's something bad and evil attached to it, then I just,
you both have a lot of family and everything else to celebrate still
Yes.
for the
yeah.
holidays. So
Yeah,
Or the
so a
4th
lot
of
of the
July,
times,
you know.
yeah, I'm celebrating a lot of the times for the kids
yeah,
because this is
Yeah.
what they hear about, and so we don't celebrate the same way that regular people would, but at the same time, I guess it depends on your intention as well when you do it, but it would be interesting to know if there was a deeper purpose behind all of these. So I think our question today has to do with, are these holidays tied to some sort of ritual? It's about celebrating and engaging in some sort of ritual to harvest energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. You want me to pull on it?
Yes, please.
Because a ritual could be like, because a ritual could be called something that you do good, in a sense, where you get up in the morning, your ritual is to, or before you get into bed, your ritual is to take off your makeup and do this and do that. It's just a set of things that you do to get to a certain point. But I guess, there could also be bad rituals as well.
yeah. I was going to say, typically, our normal day-to-day rituals aren't about harvesting energy. When I hear harvesting energy, I think of loosh and
Yeah.
how, they say the negative feed off of our fear and stuff like that. So
So
Okay.
if I think of this as a ritual, I'm like, okay, so why would this be considered a ritual? Maybe it's because they tell us these stories and they tell us this is how it's done. And because we simply just follow along,
yeah.
it's like if they are manipulating, is it maybe that can be considered what the ritual is?
For Christmas, we put up a Christmas tree, we hang our stocking and,
Yep.
presents. So, absolutely. Easter eggs, bunnies.
Yeah. I also think that Super Bowls and these big gigantic games are harvesting energy too.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Along with some other trafficking issues and stuff like that with those places.
Yep. Yep. And then so this is gonna be, you'll see what cards I get. So how did you put the question, Kyla?
So, is it truth and integrity to what they said in the video, in that these holidays are used as a ritual for us to engage in these, rituals for them to harvest energy,
Harvest energy.
from this negative side to harvest
Check it
energy.
out. Check that out. Check it out.
Wow, look at all those major arcanas.
Yep. So they
Yeah.
most definitely
Wow.
use maybe all of these to
Yeah.
harvest energy, harvesting energy.
And
And
with these cards, I wouldn't even say it was for good either.
no, because they're harvesting energy, and that's what they're waiting for. According to these cards, they're like waiting for these holidays that probably create holidays so people can get all of their energy up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because look at the magician and the tower.
Yeah. It's a form of mind control too. It's like they tell you this is what's done, this is the story, and this is what we do, and everybody just blindly follows. So it's a form of mind control.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, one of my brothers doesn't participate in holidays anymore, and he doesn't really want to talk much about his birthday either. So maybe he already saw this video, maybe he saw something that pertains to it. But the magician is really tricky. Somebody that with one hand does one thing, with the other hand does the other. Not that the magician is a bad card. In this question that we're asking, are we tricked into conjuring up all this energy so in some type of way they can kind of vacuum it all in and use it for something? And the moon card will let you know, hey, that's basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
The death card is some type of transformation. They take the energy and the frequencies or the energy, the happiness, all this energy that everybody's putting, and they transpose it, they transform it into something that they can all use as a group or as individuals, but as a, the Three of Pentacles, that's collaboration. They get the energy from us and they use it, transform it to something, and they switch it, they flip it like the Wheel of Fortune. They flip it and they drastically change it and do other things with it. Maybe they even use it against us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's like it reminds me when you're discussing that, it reminds me of the Olympics, the Summer Olympics when they were in London and that big opening show where it had all the nurses and all the kids in beds and everybody was wearing masks and just how they were like programming us to get us ready for what happened in 2020.
Right. It's like programming
Yeah.
zombies.
Yeah.
And as I was saying that, maybe they take that happiness and that energy, because the thing is that when you transform energy, it doesn't matter if it's happy or if it's mad energy, it's this energy. The emotion is left out. They take the energy of it, the force of it. And I believe that according to the cards, they transform it and use it against the people. Because as I was saying that, I got two fives. I got the five of wands. And I got the five of swords. So it's almost like that force that we all conjured up for Christmas and we were all happy in that force. They took the emotion out and used the force. And there's certain scientific devices that you could use to do that and use that force. And then whenever they need that force to use it against the people, they'll strike it against us.
And I could really see that being true for Halloween because it's supposed to be something that's more spiritual. It came from something that's more spiritual, where the veil is thin and you can connect with the other side easier. But they made it into such a show, and they even encouraged the kids to do it. And it's like this trick or treating, going to the house and taking candy, and it's really converting. It's like telling a story that's not true, and then getting everybody to perform the actions. And then as you said, taking that energy and it's like feeding off of it.
Well, the
Yes,
other thing too is they're preventing us from really knowing what these are really about. They're twisting a Wheel of Fortune, right? They're
Yes.
twisting what the original
Meanings.
celebration
Yeah.
was supposed to be, like Easter. That's the first I'd heard about Easter actually being about, reproduction and stuff like that. I mean, the eggs make sense to that, but I mean, you were always taught the resurrection of Christ, with Easter, which I never could figure out why the bunny rabbits and everything else were there. So
yeah.
that never
It's
made sense to me.
Right. And if you go
exploitation.
back
It's
to the fifth
exploitation.
kind, and is it Billy Carson? Is that his name? And he
Really.
has this whole long research that he's done about, as Lynn brought up, Christ and his resurrection. There's a whole lot more to this story that we're not told,
Oh,
right?
resurrections, yeah, were
Yeah.
practiced, ancient practices and stuff like that too. I mean, there's no.
Yeah, it's just exploitation. And I'm by these cards and I'm just convinced because the death card is a transformation. The Wheel of Fortune is a switch. So it's almost like they're getting this energy from all of these holidays. Each holiday they just conjure it up and just take it in, just like soup it in like if it's a sponge, and then take it and transform it. And then whenever they need it to use against the people, that some type of way they can transmit it out to the people. And that's why sometimes you look around and everybody's in a bad mood. It's like how could so many people be in such a bad mood? Hence I got the five of swords and the five of wands, and just transmit it back out to the masses. It's like they don't even have to work. They just get it from us and transform it and use it against us,
Well, that's your Ace of
So
Swords, because remember, words cast spells too. So,
and then the action towards the people, which would be the both fives.
yeah.
So, and it'll get us to feeling, like that, do that to us. So, whew, I'm trying to figure out how we can get around that, because in a sense where, okay, you're going to be in a good mood when Christmas. I know I'm really in a good mood. Usually in a good mood anyway, but during the holidays, I like to listen to the Christmas songs and these types of things. I like to put the little tree up. So how could we get around having out, we have to have a lot of protection up. That's probably have to do. So
That's it.
whatever happiness, yeah. How can we get around getting our energy from our happiness from that holiday, getting it robbed and used against how what can be done?
The
A
first
lot of
two things that
protection.
came to my mind is one for people to wake up and see what's happening. That's not for people like us, that'll be for the general population. That's one. But on the other hand, as you said, Barbara, yes, it's about putting that protection up and saying, no, you do not give consent to anybody feeding off of your energy in any way or form. And this has to do, unless you give permission. And this has to be with anybody. This could be relatives. This could be anybody. Everybody's space is sacred.
And it
Everybody's
doesn't have to be
energy.
a holiday. That should be practice
Exactly.
generally.
And it's something you have to do every day because
Yeah.
sometimes your energy goes a little bit low and then things, yeah, seep in. So, yeah, that's a daily practice everybody should be doing.
And as I was asking that question, I pulled three cards. The first card was the Fool. Second card is the Ten of Cups. And the third card is, so that's speaking, that's for sure speaking into it. Don't let it interfere with your happiness. Speak your truth and live your truth. And
Well,
of course we
they
have
definitely in general don't want us happy per se, which is why I think there's such an emphasis on Christmas and everybody has to buy so many presents and this, that, and the other. It should be the joy of being around your family and with loved ones and, you know, it's
Yeah.
not
yeah.
supposed to be, but they've twisted things to make it, to where people, look how many people get depressed and have heart attacks and, suicides over the holidays because they just can't handle the stress of it. So,
Yeah. Concentrate on your family.
yeah.
Don't let it interfere with your
Yeah.
happiness and speak your truth and put up your protection.
Yep.
Put up your protection and be extremely tactical about it when you do it. Extremely tactical.
Strategic,
So
yeah.
so you don't have to cut out the holidays necessarily. Well, first of all, we're not telling you to cut out the holidays
No,
or
no,
even celebrate the
absolutely not.
holidays.
Absolutely not.
We're
Yeah.
just saying that if you feel a little bit like we feel, that's what you might want to do. And then that's a whole rule just to keep the protection up all the whole year anyway. So
And I will explain for
Ooh.
myself, for my reasonings for not necessarily celebrating. And it's a little bit easier with me. I've lost my mother and my grandmother, and over the last few years, so I don't have a lot of family. If I still had a lot of family, especially young nieces and nephews, I go to my friends for Christmas morning for breakfast and stuff like that. I do that because I love being around, the younger girls and seeing them happy and celebrating and stuff like that. I absolutely like that. But for me at home, I just, that I didn't even last year hang the stockings, but I converted my mom's Christmas tree to what I now call my Mother Gaia tree. And that's up every day because that makes me
Right.
happy.
Yes.
It's not a Christmas tree, it's a Mother Gaia tree.
yeah, you showed us before. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
that's beautiful.
So
So
as
that's
Lynn
what you have
said,
to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
create your own traditions,
Yeah.
around it. You
Absolutely.
don't need to buy into the whole regular hype.
The
Yeah.
Hallmark cards and buying them.
Yeah.
The Hallmark
Even
holidays.
even Janine was saying that to say the same thing. Create your own traditions, and just remember, if you do want to continue after seeing that video, just put up your protection, do your prayers, do your meditations. That whatever you happiness that and energy that you have, you harness it for yourself, and you keep it for yourself and your family and the loved ones. You do not consent to have anybody to
Yes.
take your happiness or your spirituality or the
Energy. Yeah.
energy away from that holiday or
Yeah.
whatever every day.
Every day.
Well, and
And
a
that
lot of
word
times they're
consent.
just distractions. Having us doing this is distractions for what they're doing,
Over
say on the
there.
ground or wherever else,
Exactly.
wherever they're actually
Exactly.
doing their real rituals. So, and it all harvests in together. Energy is, never ending and intertwining all the time. So,
Right. And as Barbara mentioned, that word consent, it's so important because I think us going along with these rituals that they create, it's like them taking that as consent
yeah,
for many different things. So
absolutely.
you literally have to say the words in your mind or out loud, I do not consent. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Even when you go to those Super Bowl football games, whatever, tennis, whatever, keep it in mind. That's every day, especially when you go to those places. Like Lynn always says, especially when you go out to perform, especially when you go out to the games, that's when you have to put an extra protection. So,
I know I text her sometimes when I know she's going to a gig.
yeah.
Protection,
Oh,
protection,
yes.
protection.
Protection. I'm like,
Right.
yeah. Put some more, do some more. So, yeah,
Right.
all right. Woo, that is something else right there. So, thank you all for watching this video with us and liking and sharing and subscribing. If you want to comment underneath this video and let us know what your holidays are like or what you feel, let us know,
Want us to
please.
dive deeper on any of the holidays?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or anything else, let us know. All right. And thank you for the Three of Pentacles. And Kyla's going to let you know where we can be seen
We are on
and heard.
YouTube, Rumble, Instagram now, and we have a Facebook community. It's called the Three of Pentacles community. So be sure to join us there. Our information will be in the description. We will never contact you first. Please beware of scammers. All right, and thank you so much for watching,
Bye,
Remember,
everybody.
do your own research.
everyone.
Yeah, do your own research. Dive down those rabbit holes, people.